living in a world gone geek. It's time to geek hard or go home. The podcast is real. Here's your host, Grounded Geek.
What's up, everybody? It is Sunday night. That means it's time for the podcast is real here with World Gone Geek. I'm your host, Jeff, a.k.a. Grounded Geek, and I'm very excited because you know what night it is? It is Oscar night. That's right, Hollywood's golden night. I'm dressed fancy for the red carpet. We're off to a great start here tonight. Dressed fancy for the red carpet, and it's Oscar night. I'm feeling right. That's right. It's Oscars night. What a night. I'm not going to sing. This is when the best of the best of the film industry put on their fanciest clothes, pile into a theater, and pat themselves on the back for being awesome and preaching to the choir about causes for 3 hours. But I do enjoy the show. I love to watch the musical performances. I love to see filmmaking being celebrated. And here we are, 2022, another Oscar night. And, it's time for our pre-Oscar show. So joining me, as always, are my trusty cohorts, Aaliyah and Utah. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, guys. Greetings, programs.
Okay, wait a
What
minute.
is
You're
this?
going to make me really jealous now. What is this
Okay,
that
sorry.
you have
Well,
on your little gadget corner today?
In celebration of me finally watching and seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is an excellent addition to the Ghostbusters franchise, so go see it if you haven't. I decided to bring out my Ecto 1, but it's not any Ecto 1.
Is it the Transformer?
It's the Transformer Ecto 1.
Dude, it's so funny that you have that because I literally put in my cart for Amazon, but I didn't pull the trigger because the money is the DeLorean one.
Oh yeah, that's another collab.
And the Ghostbusters one came up as a suggestion too, but I didn't put I didn't get either of them, but they're in my wish list. So if anybody wants to go to my Amazon wish list and get me those, that'd be awesome.
So there you go.
For no reason whatsoever. My birthday.
For no reason whatsoever, just to get him.
Yeah.
So here he is.
Yes.
Check that out. Here, let's get that. Yeah.
Here he
So he
is.
turns into a robot. Now, does the robot have a name? Is he also Ecto 1? Is it like? I don't know how these Transformer crossovers work.
So yes, so he is Ecto 1, but his Transformer name is Ectotron.
Love it.
And
Love it.
Now I wonder what the DeLorean one is.
And then of course he comes with his own proton backpack.
Oh my gosh! So he can be a ghost.
So he can actually be a Ghostbuster.
Not only the vehicle of travel for a Ghostbuster, but he then
Love
becomes
that.
like
He
one of
also
the team.
becomes a Ghostbuster himself.
That's pretty amazing.
So
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this guy.
Well, we are gonna do our Oscar night show. We were gonna try to get this done in an hour because that's our goal every year. We want to watch the Oscars. Some of us are gonna watch the Oscars. I'm gonna live tweet them. So if you are watching the show and you want to keep talking about the Oscars, you can join us there. Interact we're at World Gone Geek on Twitter as we watch the Oscars tonight. I love the show. I think it's fun every year, even though it is a bunch of. I mean, they're literally there stroking their own egos.
You pretty much said it at the beginning. Yeah, in the intro.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not. I'm not knocking anybody for using their platform to do a cause. Usually, right? It's just that they're preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? It's not like they're
correct.
They're not converting. They're not changing anyone's mind from the Oscars because the only people watching the Oscars or sitting in that audience probably already agree with them. So it just seems odd to me to do that. And tonight there's a lot of controversy, right? Because they decided to cut out some of the categories and do them as a recorded piece instead. And some of those artists are very upset. Some are boycotting. They're not coming. They're not doing. If you don't care about my category, then and they've got some big names that are backing them. Steven Spielberg is on their side. He thinks it's wrong to do this. So
to a certain point, right? Like the technical awards had kind of their own separate thing, right? That wasn't broadcast in prime time. And I guess I can understand that not everybody's interested in it, but still, I mean, this isn't.
Yeah, but now they've moved other people into that tech thing,
and now they can.
And they're like, well, they're like, fine, it was one thing that you move those people, but we've been here as part of this. You thought we were important enough all this time, and now they're going. But I also get the side of the Oscars, right? It's television, a very strict timetable, and these people will not get played off. They won't shut up. They just keep talking. And it's become a thing now to like actually defy the music.
Right.
You know what
To
I mean?
ignore the playoff.
Yeah. And they'll say something. It's almost like a goal now.
It's like, it's
so
a
I
shtick.
say, if you're upset, guys, about being kicked off the Oscars telecast, blame the people who won't shut up during their speeches. That's it.
Are we taking bets on how long the broadcast is tonight? Because it's usually over
it's usually 3 hours.
It's
like
3+ hours, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I hope it's. We'll see if we can get our show to down to an hour.
We should be doing 3+ hours.
The Oscars should be able to do at least 2, is what I'm thinking.
You would think.
Because we don't like to shut up either. So,
no,
or at least I don't.
We never go off the rails, do we?
No. Oh,
no, never.
Oh boy. All right. So we're going to break down tonight the best picture category, a few other predictions. So if you're in the chat, make sure you speak out. We want to hear from you. We want to include some of your thoughts, and we're going to try to get this done by 8 p.m. But before we do that, I do have some housekeeping. We launched a brand new website. Very excited about it. Personally love it. I'm really excited how it turned out. That's at worldgonegeek.com. Go figure. It's where you would find us. So please go check it out. Subscribe to the show from there. Listen to episodes. Check out our back catalog. All very responsive and sleek. So check that out. Very, very proud of it. That that website has gone through so many iterations and me trying to learn WordPress and figure out these things. And finally I just gave up, and I partnered with a company that actually like does this kind of stuff for podcasts.
I thought I just gave up.
No, and then somebody just made one and gave it to me. No, so I'm really grateful for that. Podcastpages.io. We're going to be affiliates with them. So if you have a podcast and you want a great website, that's where to go. I'll have links once we are official affiliates and whatnot. But I love it. It's very easy to use, and so they're a great resource. So check them out. Podcastpage.io, pages.io. I'm doing a great job as an affiliate.
I was going to say, if you want to be affiliate, we should get the name right, Jeff.
Yes. Well, when they give me links, then I'll do it right. I promise. But if you do go to our website, you'll notice we have a couple of new shows we're putting up on there. The most pressing that I want to mention is a new show broadcasting live this Wednesday night at 9:15 p.m. Here is a little teaser. Shawarma Shack. We've got our restaurant ambiance going on here because we're in the Shawarma Shack right now.
86 the chicken. 86 the chicken.
If you are listening on the podcast, you just heard some cool music and sound effects and have no idea what's going on. So let me tell you, we have a new show coming. It's called the Shawarma Shack, and it is a Marvel Cinematic University after show. So we are big fans of all the Marvel properties that have come out so far, and there's a bunch of brand new shows coming this year and beyond. And so during the seasons of these new shows, we are going to have an after show called the Shawarma Shack. The Avengers debriefed and relaxed after their adventures in the shawarma restaurant. So we're going to do the same. And it premieres this Wednesday night because what's coming out? March 30th, guys.
Moon Knight
starts March 30th. Very excited. Oscar Isaac. It's going to be really good. I'm so excited to see this. And we're going to be watching that during the day on Wednesday. And then by 9:15, we're going to be right here talking about it with friends from Circle of Nerds, Midwest Movie Maker, Marvel Cinematic University.com. They are going to be a bunch of guests are going to come and chat with us about. It's going to be fun. So there'll be 6 episodes, just like there is for Moon Knight each night. We'll be back with a special when Doctor Strange movie comes out. We'll be back for Ms. Marvel for however many episodes that is, and so on and so forth. So it's the seasonal show. We show up when Marvel shows show up. So we're very excited to do that. Make sure you join us. And if you can't make it to the live show Wednesday at 9:15, it will be a podcast the next day. So you will be able to download it on your favorite podcast player. There you go. I'm very excited. The Shawarma Shack. We won't have actual shawarma.
I will.
Speak for yourself.
I know. I was saying I
If
will.
you can get shawarma at your location, that's great. Will not be provided by the show. I guess that's why I'm doing it. So, in the interest of time, though, we're not doing our movie quote of the week this week. Also, because we don't have any movies to give away. So, this week we're just
That's
doing
fair.
Oscars. So we're going to just talk about Oscars, and let's get into it. Right. So we want to talk about all the Best Picture nominees. I really would like to just kind of get opinions on each of them as we go.
Let's go.
What's that?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let
So
go.
I'm gonna read them off. We'll go through them one at a time. If you've seen it or haven't seen it, just say so. If you do, your brief kind of thoughts on it, maybe not as non-spoilery as we can get, and then
I'm
Then
gonna
we
think
go
of a
from there.
spoiler for each one.
yeah,
Oh,
Nightmare
you know
Alley.
I
There are nightmares in it, No.
In an alley.
And there is definitely an alley in this movie. I'm sure
At least
No,
one.
there's
At
not.
least one.
there's an alley.
Yeah.
No.
There's a big moment that happens in an alley.
Yeah. There's an alley in
Did
there.
you watch Nightmare Alley?
No.
Oh,
One of them. One of
you were being
the.
serious. I'm like, come on. I know. There's an
Aaliyah,
alley.
come on, man. You should know that the daughter in the movie is named Allie,
She has nightmares.
and she's a nightmare.
So
No,
have
she,
either
the
of you
daughter's the nightmare.
The daughter is the nightmare.
have either of you guys actually seen this?
No, I haven't.
No.
But it's
Really,
it's Del
I'm the only
Toro,
one who
right?
watched it.
It's Del
Yes.
Toro, yeah.
Guillermo Del Toro, who I absolutely
So,
adore.
is it
I think
is it
he's just
typical?
one of the most
I find-
visionary filmmakers of our time.
Absolutely. I found it interesting that he chose this one because I feel like, based on what I know of the original material, it's not necessarily something that he's done before, right? I mean,
Well, he usually has some supernatural,
Right.
otherworldly focus in his movies, and this is the first one that's kind of grounded more in reality.
right.
And it's but it's very noir, it's very dark. It's based, as you said, based on a movie that came out many years ago that's also kind of dark and noir, but some twists. And I haven't seen the original, but apparently he takes it in kind of a new direction.
Cool.
Does some new things with it. But yeah, Bradley Cooper plays a guy who
Oh,
starts
that's right.
working at a carnival and starts learning the tricks of mind reading and how they, the ways they con people through this mind reading and at the carny, and eventually becomes really good at it and gets all the secrets from this guy and starts using it to kind of con people, the rich people of society, and get rich himself until he crosses the wrong person and things get ugly. So
Ooh,
I thought it was really fun. It's way longer than it has to be, and usually I don't mind. Like with the Batman that came out, I love that was really long.
3 hours.
This one felt like
Yeah.
it could have been shorter. I did feel like maybe it was dragging a little bit here and there, but overall I enjoyed it. It's a good movie, so you should check it out. I mean, it's,
definitely gonna. Yeah, I didn't get it.
is it Best Picture? Probably not. That's
Okay.
my opinion, but
Okay.
it's very good. And I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with Guillermo del Toro. I'm looking forward to Pinocchio.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I'm curious to see how
Right.
he turns Pinocchio around, and because I'm a big fan of Del Toro's work as well. So
I don't know.
he's kind
Pinocchio
of
always
he's
creeped
kind
me
of like
out.
Tim Burton in the way that he can take a story and make it his own and
Yes.
show his own kind
That's what Del Toro is. They're very similar in that fashion.
So
Um,
yeah, so it's definitely on the list.
Cool.
I didn't even watch the normal, like the original Pokemon, the original Pokio.
Disney Pinocchio,
Pinocchio, somebody help me.
Pinocchio,
Pinocchio Man.
Pinocchio,
I would watch that show.
right?
don't know
Can you
how-
imagine
yeah.
like Geppetto having a whole bunch of Pinoccomons?
Pinocchio, use lying, and then his
Right.
nose pops out and smashes Charizard in the face.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Pokes him right in the eye. Pew!
Alright.
Oh my gosh.
Off the rails.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, right? No, but I do have to say, speaking of Pinocchio, if anybody who's listening to this or you guys haven't seen this bizarre production of Pinocchio, animated film that's out there that's voiced by Pauly Shore.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Oh my gosh, it's
I
so
haven't-
bad. But if you could find clips from it,
I've heard about this. It
is
sounds weird.
So terrible. Like it's
Really?
just so weird. I haven't watched the whole movie. My kids have found people on TikTok are loving it. They're showing clips. They're doing all these things. And
oh my
yeah,
gosh.
it's so weird. It's like, what is Pauly Shore doing? It's like,
Well, I mean, number one, it's Pauly Shore.
I can't believe that they're doing it for real, like that they're serious. Like this is, do you know what I mean? It's very strange. So look that up. We may actually bring clips of that and discuss it on our next show because
that's how odd it is.
It's worth talking about. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
okay.
We'll
I'll
check that out.
Okay.
All right, moving on to our next best picture nominee.
Next best picture
is Don't Look Up, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Funny movie
by Adam McKay.
Really well written. Lots of great ad libs and improvs. It was very hilarious. I thought the message was a little heavy handed, but still funny. It was but not best picture, my opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. Aaliyah, what did you think?
I liked the movie. You
saw it, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I liked the movie. I was definitely getting annoyed. I was like, you guys are so irritating, but it's just because that's real life.
Well, then the actors did their job.
You mean the people who weren't listening to them or the scientists who were trying to, okay,
yeah. But then even just like, they always have Leonardo DiCaprio playing this man that has infidelity in it, and it's just irritating to me because it's like, can't he just be like a normal, like in this one I was excited because he was had like this really pretty home and just know
it was an odd diversion from the story, in my opinion. It was very strange that part.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't even know why it was in there. It
didn't feel like it needed to be there, but I guess it was to show his character succumbing to the celebrity of it all.
Sure.
So because the whole point, for those of you who hadn't seen it, Don't Look Up, there's an asteroid coming to crash into the Earth. And these are the scientists who are trying to tell everybody that it's happening. Mm-hmm. But because we're obsessed with pop stars and movies
material
and pop culture, I don't know what they could possibly be talking about. But those there are people like that apparently.
Really?
They don't care about what's happening. They're more concerned about Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi's characters.
Yeah.
Love romance. Yeah. So it's very interesting. I did think it was very prescient. I thought it was like a good satire of our media obsession right now. It's
certainly relevant. Yeah.
When they interrupt they're telling that people that the world is going to end
with
to show that that Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi got back together. Like that was the breaking news.
That's pretty much.
I lost it. I'm like, okay, this is too real. This is too real. The world is messed up. So I did like that part of the message, but
the song wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
That's that
pretty
song
funny.
Was hilarious. It wasn't bad, but it was hilarious.
And Ariana Grande's performance of that song was also really good. And I hear that she added some of her own stuff to it, which is commendable. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The best part of the whole movie is Jonah Hill's ad libs to Jennifer Lawrence.
My gosh. Oh yeah.
Every time they're on screen together, he has a new way to insult her.
I know.
And it is so funny. I don't know how she kept a straight face because he improv'd almost all of those.
I believe
it. It's like, do you actually feel that way? Like, you really?
Like, what? Yeah, it's pretty funny.
You know darn well the blooper reels and the behind the scenes.
Yeah, that'll be worth watching.
Well worth watching because my gosh, those.
But like that ending though, like that ending of, without spoilers.
That ending though.
That ending.
Like the after credits thing.
No. When he's
the actual
sitting,
ending.
No, when he's like sitting in that room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna come back.
Yeah.
She's gonna come back.
Yeah. It's heartwarming. It's heartbreaking. So I think we're all agreed that this was actually, it was a decent movie. It was entertaining. I thought it had an interesting message.
Yeah,
and
but not
it was
best picture.
very funny.
Not
best picture. Not best picture. All right. So moving on. Okay. How about this one? Drive My Car.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I want to though. I'm really intrigued by it.
Me too. because
Really,
it's
really
by
intrigued
an
by it.
author that I find to be very interesting. Wrote the short story that it's based on. He
Oh,
wrote a
cool.
short story, and then they made a 3-hour movie out of it.
Right.
I don't know how that happens, but that's what
Right.
this movie is about. But it's all in Japanese, so it's got that going for it as far as Best Picture. I don't think that does it any favors, unfortunately, and being 3 hours long. But it's supposed to be amazing, and I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be really good. It is up for Best International Feature,
I was going to say it's up for the
and
other
I
category as
think
well.
it's more than likely going to win
That one, yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than Best Picture. So
Based, yeah, that makes sense.
I do like that that they don't designate international films only to that category anymore. I mean, literally, an international film could win both.
Correct.
In fact, did Parasite win both? I know it won the Oscar. Did it win Best International? I don't remember.
I don't think it won Best Internet.
Anyway, but the fact that they can win both now, I think, is nice. So it's like, I mean, some of these foreign. I mean, we already know that a lot of televisions from foreign countries. There you go. See, Korean
won both Best
television
Picture.
is now becoming better than both British and American television.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is about Korean television shows about zombies, but they just do it the best.
They sure do.
But they do. Oh my gosh,
they have real zombies over there, so they know how to do it.
I don't like honest. I used to think that The Walking Dead. You know what? The Walking Dead, the first 2 seasons, I thought was pretty much the pinnacle of like zombie
it jumped
story.
the shark eventually, though.
But yeah, after a certain point, it just lost its way, and I don't know. Like, oh geez, all of us are dead.
Yeah,
like
so good. Oh my god,
Squid Game.
The Squid Game isn't
Squid
zombies, and it was
isn't
really
zombies,
amazing.
but it's still an amazing show. Kingdom, I just started in Kingdom, which
Same.
is basically period zombies. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I just started that too. So good.
Period
so good.
zombies.
Yeah, it takes place in ancient Korea, like ancient.
I forget what the time period is, but it
I
happens.
get you.
But it happens way in the past, like centuries ago, and it's so good. So I just, anyways.
Well, I think it's fair
zombies that have menstrual cycles.
No,
that'd be interesting because zombies technically are dead. Therefore,
yeah, and that'd be interesting.
How would
but
that happen?
But hair grows after your death, so
Yeah.
maybe I don't know.
Who knows?
Oh yeah, we learned that in talked about that in a different movie. Okay, anyways, further on. Keep going.
I just think it's awesome that these international films they're eligible for Best Picture because sometimes they are. I mean, that was the case with Parasite. So
right, and for a while, the Oscars, you know, they have some sort of standard minimum bar for a percentage of dialogue or whatever. It has to be in English in order to be considered, and they just kind of changed that, and so that's a Parasite. And Parasite won both international and Best Picture. So
that's got to be the first one that's ever done that because they had just changed that not that long ago.
It won 6 Oscars.
All right, Licorice Pizza.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either, and that's because they refused to put it anywhere on streaming before the Oscars. So they're going to lose.
Sequel? Is it the sequel? Is it the sequel to Mystic Pizza or no?
It is not. But the only thing this has going for it, I think, is it takes place in Hollywood, and they love movies about themselves over there.
They do.
So
you said over there like it's a whole
in Hollywood.
Well, it kind of is.
Hollywood is kind of its own place. Let's be honest.
It's kind of its own place.
But they love to nominate movies about Hollywood. They love stuff that kind of celebrates old Hollywood.
Yeah.
This kind of does that, but Paul Thomas Anderson, he's a great director. So and Oscars audiences love him.
Yeah.
So but I don't think it's going to win, and I think it's not enough people have seen it for it to be very popular either. It's been kind of it's not a movie I would run out to the theater to see.
No.
In this environment, now you have to be a lot more choosy about movies you see.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the Batman, or if it's not going to give me like $12 worth of action until my eyes bleed, then I'm not going to pay the money for it.
Wow, that's a high bar.
It is.
That's so interesting.
Batman did it.
It's the bleeding eye thing is what got me.
It's so interesting that you say that though, because like movie theaters were not. They weren't like they were around obviously to bring entertainment, but like you think about people watching movies black and white way back when they first came out. That appreciation for
they had to leave the house. There's no other way to see them.
I know, but it's just
It was
like
a big thing, too.
that original appreciation for movies and just,
Well, I still have that. I just don't pay for it.
I know.
I
Right,
do.
well,
I pay
but I'm
streaming.
just
I
saying,
don't
pay
go
it
to
in
the
a different
theater
way.
for it. Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's that safety issue that's different for people,
Especially now.
different people
Yeah.
nowadays, right?
Yes.
Right. And
But
I
for
think
me,
you're
the
right,
big
Jeff.
the big screen asks for big movies. That's in my for me
Sure,
now.
I totally agree.
I don't need to go to see Owen Wilson and J-Lo in Marry Me on the big screen.
No,
Like
you
there's
can-
no need for
there's-
that.
right.
Like rom-coms. I might go on a date with my wife or somebody who wants to see that movie. That I could see that as a date night.
Sure.
But I'm not rushing out to see that kind of movie on the big screen. I want to see Dune. I want to see Marvel. I want to see
Right.
DC. I want to see big productions, something that's, I don't know, got a big movie, I guess. That's
Talking
just
to
me.
men.
No, I love those kind of movies. I just don't need a big screen to enjoy it.
I know. I'm just joking.
But if I don't see Star Wars on the big screen at least once when it's out, do you know what I mean? Like that's just a spectacle, and that needs to be big. But romance isn't a spectacle.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I'm just saying the way that it's changed, like
Sure.
over the years.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why theaters have now coffee bars and bars and food stuff, because
literally sitting back like you're about to take a nap.
They have to try and make it worth getting out of your house, paying double digits.
You can actually buy licorice pizza to eat.
You can actually buy licorice pizza while watching licorice pizza.
So
or at the very least,
just
buy
get some
licorice.
Red Vines and a Pizza Hut pizza. That's what they have at the Cinemark here, and then put them
There you
together,
go.
and then
put them
go watch
together,
the movie.
and you can watch licorice.
So none of
pizza.
us have seen it. It's probably not going to win anything, but
Watch it win.
I do think it looks interesting. I didn't get a chance to see it. If it had been streaming, I definitely would have.
And watch
Agreed.
Paul Thomas Anderson thank us for winning, because we said they wouldn't win.
There you go.
Yes. Specifically. World Gone
So
Geek.
I mentioned the biggest, the movies that draw me to the theater. Dune would have been one of them, except it was on HBO, so I watched it at home because my kids wanted to see it too, so we watched it. But that's nominated. Dune, thoughts?
Thought it was great. I liked it better than the. This might be blasphemy, but I liked it better than David Lynch's version. But
It's not blasphemy.
but I think the biggest thing going against Dune in terms of Best Picture is the fact that it's not a whole movie. It's like the first half of.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's going to go against it. I think it's beautifully done. It looks great. It's really faithful to the source material.
Agreed.
But I don't think it's Best Picture.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think it's gonna. If it's ever gonna win anything, it's gonna be like Lord of the Rings. They're gonna wait till the end of it.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're
gonna wait
all
till
three of those
they
Lord of
finish
the
it.
Rings had enough to be nominated, but they waited until Return of the King to give them an actual Oscar. So
No, I think you're right.
I think, and it was more like it was for Return of the King, but you just kind of
But
felt
it
like they were
was-
saying
It was
we
totally
love this whole
entire
thing.
Yeah, it was in a
but
community.
we're not going to give you 3 of them. You got to wait. And
This
I
is
think that
for all
if
of your
this
movies.
wins Best Picture ever, it'll probably be because the second one is amazing. I don't know that it will be, but I'm just saying that will be more likely to win something than this will.
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be because so like I remember when I was a kid and we would always watch the first movie and then you would watch the second movie and it was trash. So like
Yeah, well,
in a lot of cases,
That's fair.
not every
That's-
single one of them, but a lot of
that's
cases,
fair.
and especially because I did read the book and then that's why I waited so long
you poor soul.
to I didn't mind
It's a
it.
good
I
book.
liked
It's a slog.
it.
Though.
Is a
It's a good book, but it was a
It
lot
was
of work for
long.
me to get through it. Yeah.
That's why I read the end. I read the beginning, and then I read the end, and then I went back and read the middle.
Interesting. That's an interesting.
So did you watch the
I
movie
know,
that
but
way?
it was-
Did you watch the end of the movie first?
Yeah.
And then the beginning of the
No,
movie?
because the
and
end of
then-
the movie's not out yet.
Oh, that's right. You can't watch the end of the movie because it's
So
being
technically,
made.
I'm still reading, or I'm just watching the middle. You
So
see,
technically, yeah, you just watched the beginning and the middle of the movie.
yes. So really, what I should have done was I should have just read.
You
the
should just
beginning and the
waited
middle.
until the second part came out.
Right.
No, I should have just read the beginning and then the middle, and then just not read the end until the end of the movie comes out.
There you go.
Well,
You have to watch.
depending,
Well,
right?
yeah, who knows how they're cutting
I
it.
know they could just do it like Harry Potter and just have like 17 different.
No, I think it's just the
Endings.
two.
I think it's just two. I mean, they could have done three, but I think two is fine. I think two works.
But I've talked to a lot of people about the movie, and I've had mixed reviews. Like, a lot of people loved it, but some people were very upset because they thought that that Zendaya was going to have a larger role. And
She will.
She will.
She will. Absolutely. Yeah. She definitely will, which is why it's foreshadowing, right? You're just kind of setting up that foundation for what's to come. But
this is the, okay. For those of you on the podcast, I apologize. But this is the entirety of Zendaya's contribution to the first half of Dune. For those of you here, watch. Hold on. Here we go.
Turn around. There it is.
That's it. That was great.
And then rinse and repeat, basically.
Yes.
Which is a shame because she's amazing. I love her, but she didn't have much to do in that first movie, and it was really just like, there, I think, so they could say she's in it.
Well, but that's the thing, though. Like, that was a lot of people's reaction. Like, oh, they just used her as like a tactic, right?
I mean, they definitely did from a marketing perspective because she's in all the trailers and is barely in the movie. So
exactly.
But she is in the second part. People just need to be patient.
Right.
But
that just shows that just shows that those people haven't read the book and don't know the entire story. So
yes, but I thought it was definitely very beautiful. Like Utah was saying, I thought it was very beautiful. I think that they set it up very nicely for what's to come, and I am excited. I don't know if it's Best Picture, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's going to win something. I think it's going to win something.
I mean, cinematography, maybe something. I mean, it's beautiful. It's really
cinematography
well done,
or costumes or special or visual effects, maybe. I mean,
and didn't they film it in Abu Dhabi or something like that? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know about it. I will say that the ornithopters are some of my favorite things from that.
That was really well. Those are really well.
Those were so well done. I mean, just incredibly well done. And did you know they actually had helicopters for those scenes, so they could get that like the air
blow the sand.
All the blown air and everything is real, and they just replaced the helicopters with the ornithopters.
That's fun.
So, anyways, yeah.
All right, so Dune probably not going to win Best Picture, but it's a really good.
It's a good picture, but it won't win Best Picture.
Yes, so it was filmed in Jordan, the desert of Abu Dhabi, Norway, and some Budapest. So that's fantastic.
That's all over the place. Yeah.
Wait, there's a desert in Norway?
So the next movie, we're not going down that road.
What is your Justin Timberlake face? Because
hold on.
That's where I'm at.
Hold on, here we go.
Thank you.
All right. The next movie in our list is Belfast, which is a kind of coming of age type of story. It takes place in ancient Ireland. No, not ancient. I'm just kidding. It's like in the 60s, I think, or something.
Does it happen in Belfast?
Yeah, apparently. But
it would be funny if it was. It would be funny if it was Belfast, but it happened in like Dublin.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't it in theaters or something? Oh,
so it's only in theaters, or it's out for rent now, but it's not streaming. So I guess that's. So
I haven't seen it.
And I haven't had to see that yet either, because I'd have to pay for like more for it than I would on a streaming. Which I'm willing to do. I just there's a lot of films this time now that they nominate. I can't possibly get them all in.
I'm really 10 films. Come on.
Yeah, now. Kenneth Branagh is the director. I adore the man's work, so I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
I'm sure it's great.
I can't speak to whether it'll win or not because I don't know how. It's been a front runner for a while. People have been talking about it. It's one of the front runners. Sorry, I don't want to say it's really a front runner because it's not the front runner, but it's in those conversations. It's supposed to be really good, but I haven't seen it. So you guys haven't either.
All right. No, I didn't go to the
So good luck to Kenneth Branagh. I think again he's awesome. So if he wins, great. But I can't speak to it. So there we go.
Don't know.
All right. So now we're coming down, I think, to the movies that are more are closer to, we kind of do them in order, I think, of like
odds.
Likelihood to win. I'm going to move into West Side Story here. which I finally got to see. It came to Disney Plus and HBO Max. How does that work? I don't even know.
The
Well,
power of
is.
Steven Spielberg.
I
well,
guess so.
they do like the deal, right? Like Disney, they have like that Hulu and
Yeah, but the
ESPN
HBO
deal.
Max
Yeah,
is
but
a
HBO
competitor.
is totally separate.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're competitors.
separate.
So
That's
Can you
somehow
imagine
they
if
I
worked
Disney
didn't
it
know
got
out.
that they were
HBO?
competitors.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
thoughts on West Side Story?
I like this version better than the original. Now, I wasn't a huge fan of the original. I like the songs, I like the music, and the historical aspect of it in terms of Broadway shows is phenomenal, right? I liked what they did to this version. I liked the direction a lot. I thought it was a much brighter and more realistic representation of that time and that place. I like the changes to the script to make it a little bit more accessible to modern audiences. Because there were times in the original where it really dragged, even for I think audiences of that time, because that was the mid '60s. I think they did a really good job of kind of modernizing stuff along and making it more palatable to modern cinema. So I thought it was I thought it was great, but I don't think it's Best Picture.
Okay. What'd you think, Aaliyah?
I didn't see it. I
Oh,
haven't
you
seen
didn't
it
see it
yet.
yet.
No,
All right.
there's
So,
like certain like musicals that Kiara loves, so I haven't seen Hamlet yet.
oh
and I
yeah,
haven't
that's right.
seen
You have
West
to
Oh,
Side
wait.
that's
Story.
right.
There's
You have to
I
wait for
have to
her.
watch those two with her because she loves musicals and
Well, I
yeah.
gotta eat some crow here because I was very vocal about the fact that I didn't think this movie
It
should
didn't
ever
need to
be
be made
made.
again, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and not because I didn't think Steven Spielberg would do a great job, not because I didn't think they could update it and do some cool things with it. I thought the original was great. I'm like, and I'm like, Steven Spielberg is way too amazing of a director to be like looking
Remaking
back and
something.
remaking something. Like
Yeah.
he has been one of the most innovative
Mhm.
and inventive directors ever. And for him to remake, it just felt wrong. However,
Now
after
that you've seen
finally
it,
seeing it, it's flipping amazing.
yeah,
And
it's
I
well
like
done.
the original, but I'm kind of with you. I feel like I'm going to watch this one from now on if I want to watch it again.
Oh,
They
definitely,
really
for sure.
updated it. The performances are amazing in
Oh,
it.
the cast is brilliant.
Yes, they're
I
so good. And
I found it interesting that what's his name, the lead who played Tony. He was an
um,
interesting choice. I wasn't
Baby
buying
Driver.
in. Yeah, Baby Driver. Angle.
That's another movie he's in. I can't.
Angel, is his name Angel something?
No.
Angle.
Oh
Engelbert?
yeah. No, that's not it. Keep
But yes,
talking.
Baby
I'll find
Driver.
out.
But yes, Baby Driver. I wasn't buying in at first
Ansel
that
Elgort.
Ansel. I wasn't buying into him being somebody that you would that somebody would fall in love with instantly from across a room. But as the movie went on, I totally forgot about it, and his performance just kind of like shone through. So
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really well done. The music was great. The singing was great. I didn't know Ansel Elgort could sing like that. It's
I
amazing.
didn't know that either. Yeah,
I thought that she's a newcomer, Rachel Ziegler as Maria. She was phenomenal.
fantastic.
Yeah, and I was in tears by the end of it. I mean, it just got me. It was so good, so well done. And I love Rita Moreno. Like I just adore her as an actress. She's just so much fun. I loved her in the original. I loved her on the show Oz. Do you remember that on HBO back in the day?
Yeah.
She's just so good and like
Yeah,
all
she's
the
good in
things that
everything
she
she
does.
does. Yep.
And if she signs off on this and is in it, she's basically Doc. So they don't have the character of Doc. They got rid of Doc and she's Doc's wife instead.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That was a decent change.
if
I like that.
she's okay with it, then I don't know why I can't be. So
Right.
I am. I love
Yeah,
it.
there was a certain stamp of approval when you knew that she was cast and she was
Yep.
with it and okay with it. Yeah, absolutely. And also I enjoyed the changes that they made in terms of like the song "I Feel Pretty." If taken in that context in the mid '60s, wouldn't nearly be appropriate now. But they changed it. I thought it was very clever, and I thought it was very appropriate what they did with that song and the staging of that. So
Well, it's interesting because Sondheim, or was it Sondheim? I can't remember. All of a sudden, I'm blanking. But anyway, who helped write the lyrics for that original Broadway show? He hated it. He's like, this doesn't work. There's no way that a poor a Latina
Puerto Rican.
girl is going to sing this song. Like, it doesn't fit.
It just doesn't work.
But everybody loved the song, and they're like, we got to include it because it is a fun song. It's really good.
Yes.
But he's like, but it doesn't fit there. And so
Right.
the original movie tried to change it and fix it. Didn't quite do it. This one fixes it because she's in that department store and she's singing it. She's imagining herself. It's all the mannequins are white. She's in a white girl's apartment.
Yeah.
And so she's singing from like that perspective. Now it makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't make sense from her perspective in that apartment. You know what I mean?
No, that was a good change. I appreciated that change.
That was interesting. I read an article about that was a different take on it. Okay, so we got 20 minutes left, so we got to get through these.
Okay,
West Side Story
we can do this.
Is excellent. I don't think it's Best Picture.
Worth watching, but
personally.
Not Best Picture. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we're down to like kind of the big three, I feel like. So King Richard is what we're going to talk about next. This is about the father of Venus and Serena Williams. It's a wonderful it's a little bit of a coming of age, but it's to me, it's like these are two girls who just scream empowerment to women. And yet the movie is completely and utterly focused on the man in the story, which is kind of it. But he does have an interesting story. So I'm not knocking that they did it, but it does feel a little odd, especially since the anthem at the end by Beyonce is all about sisterhood and about female empowerment. But yet the movie is about how, their father kind of like, pushed and sacrificed to get him there. But yeah, your thoughts on the actual movie? Those of you saw it.
Yeah, I think the story was worth telling. And like you said, there's a reason why it's titled King Richard, because it is about basically the father, and the sisters are kind of the product of everything that goes on, though they are the ones that are doing it all. Yeah. I thought it was a good watch. I liked the story, and the fact that the family was involved, and I think they were part of the production team, speaks a lot to the content of the movie. I think this is probably one of Will Smith's best performances, in my opinion, and I don't think it's Best Picture, but I do think Will Smith has made a very strong case to win the Best Actor Oscar, not only because of his performance here, but also because, I feel like the Academy is going to take a look at his collection of work and go, okay, you know what? Mm-hmm. It's about time.
It's time to award this guy.
Right. It's about
kind of like the DiCaprio thing,
Exactly. Yeah. So,
great movie. We're all still wishing for that man.
Right. But yeah, great movie, not Best Picture.
What do you think, Aaliyah?
I'm not gonna lie. I was not looking forward to this movie.
No, you weren't.
And
I don't know what you have against Will Smith.
It's not. We don't need to talk about that on camera.
Okay.
No, it's. There's nothing against Will Smith. I am not like a fan of like these type of stories, I guess. Like I just would prefer to hear it from the horse's mouth, I guess you could say. But I understand like was this a true story or was this just an adaptation? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's how he raised the girls, and that's how they became superstars.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I loved the movie. I really did. I really enjoyed it. And I thought that it was very beautiful, like, although it was again irritating because this like man ego that, like, it's just.
Well, that's part of the story too, yeah.
I know. Yeah. And then how he treats his wife. I'm really, in case you can't tell, I'm just really over these men.
Yeah, you're
just over the men right now. Like,
you are riled up.
Get it together, men. That's how I feel.
Riled up.
Like, get it together. But I have to understand, like, both of the time frames. Anyways, so he finally gets them to where they are starting their careers. And then why can't he just, you either have one or the other. And I don't like that all the time. Like you either have this beautiful like family, right? Because they're very happy, and I'm spoiling. I'm gonna go on a very
Thanks.
long tangent, but it's like they
I
have
had
like
no
that
idea they
very
were a happy
happy
family.
part.
Thanks.
They were a happy family in that small home, and then when they get that big old home, it just like
And then all heck breaks loose.
Yeah.
But I really loved it, and again, don't think that it's best picture, but I really appreciated the film, and I felt for Will. Like I felt for him, especially if that's a real story and he's like genuinely getting beat up like that.
Yeah.
Like it makes
that's true. Yeah.
It makes me so sad. It's like he's just trying to do something for his daughters.
Yep.
And then you find out all this other stuff, and
he's not perfect. But
I have like the whole.
That's what makes
I can't share.
He's a flawed individual, but that's what I think makes it an interesting story. But
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you guys. I thought it was great. I expected it just to be yet another biopic with, and then who cares kind of thing.
Yes.
But no, I thought it was actually really well done. It's funny that so when it started for like the first 10 minutes, I was like, that's Will Smith doing a voice.
Right.
Like I'm like, I can't believe this guy's nominated because this is just Will Smith doing a voice. But after that, like kind of like once I got used to it, like I was immersed. Like he is I forgot it was Will Smith. This is their dad doing stuff. But he really became like another person, and I was really impressed. Like I said, just the beginning when he's pitching all the to the people, it felt like him. It felt like this is just
in the
Will
pursuit
Smith
of happiness, because that's what I thought of.
putting on a show, putting on an accent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then it just kind of became who he was, and I enjoyed it. And I do think he's got a good shot at being best actor. I really do. So. I think that's going to be. I mean, he's probably my pick of the ones that are out there. So, good luck to him. I hope he finally gets it. But yeah, it was really well done. And then the song by Beyonce at the end is up for Oscar tonight too. So that was a lot of fun too. Yeah, good song. All right. So the next movie, because we got time here, is The Power of the Dog. Who had a chance to see that?
So I'm disappointed that there was only one dog in the movie, and we never saw its power. So that already against the movie because I felt misled.
It's another one of those movies where the title is actually
it says the dog
only referenced in the very end of the movie.
So it's the whole point, the whole point of the title. You see why at the end.
It's very biblical. The entire.
We have a short amount of time, so let's just kind of knock it out here.
Beautifully shot. All of the actors, the entire cast, really good. I feel like Kirsten Dunst does a great job. I think she's definitely one in the running for supporting actress, in my opinion. Again, all the performances are really well done. But I feel like that it will win Best Picture, but it's not my pick for Best Picture.
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. Was not what I was thinking. Again,
totally surprised.
That's what I said. We talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm like, I finally saw this movie. This movie is not what you think it is. By the end of this movie, you realize this is what it's about. Like you think you've got this movie pegged, and then at the end you're like, "What?" And you have to go back and watch it again. That's what this movie has going for it. It is beautifully shot,
but it makes you want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And these other ones, I won't watch them again. But this one, I definitely will watch again.
Yeah. It is beautifully shot. I have to agree with. So I don't know if you heard the controversy. Sam Elliott has been criticizing this movie for not being a proper Western, and why would you go to New Zealand to film America? We've got the West here, and stuff. Right. And in a way, I sort of agree with him. The one point that he makes that I do agree with is that Benedict Cumberbatch is wearing chaps even when he's not riding a horse. It's almost like
he's wearing chaps a lot.
Somebody says, said, okay, this is a Western, told the costume designer who who knows nothing about the Old West, but has seen a Western and
well,
figures they wear chaps, right? And so
Right, so-
every scene they've got to have chaps on.
well,
No,
but it's one of two things.
that was
It's either-
unusual.
One of two things. It's either he's a member of the Village People, which he's not because of the
Right.
time period, or two, I took that as kind of part of his overcompensation.
Maybe.
I don't want to spoil it too much, but you know what I mean? Like,
I gotcha. No, I think
But
I
yeah,
thought
lots
it was
of-
good.
yeah.
I love the fact that it was kind of a little bit of a twist at the end, that it's not the kind of movie that you think it is. I thought that was great. But for me, I'm with you, Utah. It's not my pick for Best Picture. If anybody has been following along, I'm saving that for the end here. But
Who is that?
but I do.
I don't know,
think
but
that-
we're also here for Aaliyah. So
Who is that? What is-
I do
this is
think
this
that,
is Aaliyah's world. We just live in it.
yeah, I do think that it is a good movie. I think it's not Best Picture, but it might be Best Director. And a lot of people
Yeah,
will
I'll give
say,
you that.
well, if a movie has the Best Director, then if a movie is Best Picture, then it should be the Best Director. That
No.
is not always true. I
No.
feel like sometimes it's a Best Picture because of the performances.
Correct.
And obviously the director has a role to play in that. But in this next movie we're going to mention, I don't think it's the best directed movie. I mean, it's pretty
No.
formulaic if you want to
Yes.
really get down to it. But it has some of the most powerful performances I've seen all year. And that's why it's going to be my pick when we get to it. So Power of the Dog, I think Jane Campion gets an Oscar for that, for Best Director. I think that's
Yes.
what's going to happen.
Agreed.
I think,
Agreed.
and I think you're right. I think she'll get Best Director.
That's how they'll split it. You know, they'll be
Right.
like,
There you go.
you know, we like both of these, but we,
Right.
you know, we can't give it, you know, we're going to give one to one and one to the other. So,
Well, and I agree with you. I think there's more of an argument for Jane Campion to win Best Director than there is this movie winning Best Picture.
Sean Heder. Yeah,
Or yeah.
exactly. So Sean Heder is the one who directed Coda, which
directed
is
Coda.
the movie we're going to talk about next.
haven't
I don't think it's the
seen
best. I don't think it's the best directed movie.
No, but I
only
but I-
because, I mean, it's well directed, don't get me wrong, but only because it's pretty straightforward. It's a coming of
Yeah.
age story. There's nothing really fancy about the way it's filmed, like The Power of the Dog has. There's nothing really, but it has some of the most powerful performances I've seen. I was so emotionally moved by everything that happens in this movie. It is my pick for Best Picture. Troy, I don't have my glasses on. Troy Kotzer, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, plays
Yeah,
the
I think that's
dad.
right. Yeah.
He's up for Best Supporting Actor, and if he doesn't win, it's a crime. He was so good.
Yeah.
And there is a scene where she is singing to her deaf father in the back of a truck that if it doesn't turn you into jelly, then you don't have a heart. Aaliyah has an admirer tonight. That's why we're laughing. So those of you on the podcast, we don't know who this is out, but their name is 100% true. Hello, 100% true. Thank you for watching.
100% true is just spewing. They're just spitting 100% facts. That's all I got to say.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And
that's
game.
the reason Aaliyah is here. Is
In
because
100% game.
she steals the show wherever she appears. We have to have Aaliyah here, or we don't have a show. So,
Thank you.
But yeah, thanks for watching.
Support.
There we go. I
Yeah.
just feel like I had to explain that for the podcast. Why do they keep laughing? What are they laughing at? You don't see the chat, but it's going on here. Some of our
Jeff is spilling his heart out, and we're just laughing at him.
anyway, Coda is a child of deaf adults. And her mother is played by Marlee Maitland, who was
Also
the
does
first deaf actor to ever win an Oscar.
Yep.
And now I think her co-star, who plays her husband, he's gonna follow that up and win this one because he is so good. Oh my gosh.
Totally agree.
The movie it's very emotional. It's very good. It's super formulaic. It's a coming of age story that's like, oh, my parents don't want this, whatever. But the twist is that, you know, she's the only hearing person in her family. They all rely on her, and just the way this movie has to communicate, because I mean, half the main cast, more than half of the main cast
Is deaf.
are deaf,
Yep.
played by deaf actors. And
Really? Wow.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they basically do sign language, and she interprets, and there's subtitles. So because there's not as much dialogue, it's all has to come out of the performances. You got to believe these people. And oh my gosh, they're all so great. And it's funny. It's heartwarming. It's dramatic. if you don't cry 16 times before it's over, then I don't know what's wrong. No, it's not that many. There's
No,
at least
not,
two
it's
times.
not that many, but there's at least
There's
two.
at least 2 times where I lost it. It was like, this is, and the back
totally
of that
agree.
pickup truck is when she's singing to him. Oh my gosh, I'm already getting emotional.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you, Jeff. I think this is I think for me, Coda is the best picture because the performances are outstanding. The story is fantastic. Like you said, the directing isn't extraordinary, but it's well done.
Sure. And that's I hope I don't offend that person. I would love John Heder by saying that. She did a wonderful job directing the movie.
Right, but I don't think it's best director material.
Sure.
But you're right. It seemingly is just a typical kind of coming of age slice of life story, except that you've got a deaf family who has things that they want to do, and then you've got the only hearing a member of the family, the daughter, who also has things that she wants to do, and there's the conflict, and the conflict presents itself in such a way that is so, it just tugs at the heartstrings. Everyone did such a great job. The performances are fantastic. I do think Troy should win supporting actor, and I hope he does.
I think the other thing that I love about it is, so her passion is singing.
Yeah.
And her family can't hear her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this powerful moment when her mother says, if I was blind, would you want to be an artist? You know what I mean? It's kind of why would you do these things that I don't know how to support you. I don't know how to be that supportive mother because are you any good? She asked her at one time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I thought that was, it's just so interesting.
A lot of great poignant moments.
Stuff you don't think about.
Right. Especially
because we're privileged to not
we can
have to worry about those things.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's a very,
the father-daughter aspect of it is what really got to me too.
Anytime there's a father and their child, that usually reduces me to tear anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's just how it is, right?
But
so, that movie surprised me, but it's fantastic.
I did too. I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But it's really been on a tear. It's won a bunch of awards now.
I can see why.
Won Best Ensemble, which heck yeah.
Oh heck, yeah, absolutely.
So the SAG, I think that's where it got that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think it's got the momentum to take it all tonight. But the Oscar, they surprise us. They do some weird things sometimes.
They do like that, and that's why I said that I think The Power of the Dog will win, but I feel like Coda should win.
Yeah.
So
well, again, I hope they decide that both of these movies are very good, but they give them credit for what they excel at. What's good about them.
Yeah.
So overall, Coda is a
better picture overall.
Whereas Jane Campion directed a fine piece of cinema. You know what I mean? So anyway, we did it. We got done. We got like 3 minutes till the show starts. Actually, one of my watches says 1 minute. So
yeah, it's
depends on which clock you look at. But I guys, thank you so much for talking with me about the Oscars tonight. We're gonna go watch it. I'll probably be tweeting. So if you follow @WorldGoneGeek,
oh yeah,
that's where we'll be doing that. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday for the Shawarma Shack. Watch Moon Knight and come join us at 9:15 right here. It's going to be great. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all of the socials @WorldGoneGeek, where the geek shall inherit the earth. We'll see you next time on the show.
I'm waving.
Go see Coda.